Not after dark.
Get the fuck out.
Siemi Bakayoko, oh yeah. Samina mina, Edward Mende, Samina mina, Sam Sadate. He comes from Senegal.
And I think going out and get Saul was the top transfer of the market for Chelsea.
Chesney could have been in the shower smoking a cigarette like he was at Arsenal, and we still would not have scored.
My rants have been fueled by Scotch. Don't get it twisted.
Big Rom. Man, fuck you.
In Roman we trust, right?
You and me are going to have a battle royale about Jorginho and diving.
The flag stays down.
On After Dark, baby.
Don't do it.
So what I find interesting about Belgium, did you see Kevin De Bruyne's comments?
I did, and I think they're spot on.
He's not wrong.
No, not at all.
Like, he's not wrong. Like, they're not spring chickens anymore. Like, yeah, you can look at, Axel Witsel is what, 31, 32?
Something like that, yeah.
De Bruyne's 30. Hazard is 30. Torgan's 26. Rom is almost 30. You look at Dries Mertens, he's got to be up there too. Vertonghen's got to be...
He's got to be like 33, right?
Damn near on his deathbed. And so that's what the good teams do, is like they don't. So Belgium hasn't replenished. Like, they do have some good people. Who was the striker that they brought on? The one that we played in the Champions League last year. The Klasten or something like that.
Oh, De Ketelare.
Yeah, that guy. Like, yeah, he will be good, but he's only 19.
Yeah, 21.
Like, yeah, they need to replenish, and they missed their chance.
Yeah, you look at, I knew that they had an aging team, but I didn't know, specifics. But you look at players who probably aren't going to be at the next World Cup. Keeper is kind of, Thibaut Courtois will probably still be there. But Toby,
I was so happy to see that goal go in against him.
Oh, 100%.
I was so happy.
Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Thomas Meunier are all probably going to be gone.
Yep.
They're all in their early to mid 30s. So that leaves you Castagna,
Leicester,
Wout Faes from Leicester.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know. So midfield, Axel Witsel will be 37 next World Cup. De Bruyne will be 35. Carrasco will be 33. So that leaves you, their midfield is probably going to be their best. It's going to be Yuri. It's going to be Onana from Everton.
Yep.
Leander Dendaker will be the veteran. And then De Ketelare. Up top, Rom is going to be 33 the next World Cup. Hazard will be 35. Martins will be 40. Torgan will be 33. Trossard will be 31. Michi will be 33. So that leaves you with Lois Openda and Jeremy Doku. Yeah.
Yeah, they missed out. And the thing is, they don't have anybody to replenish. Where if you look at teams like a Germany or Spain or even England, for that matter, they can replenish. Belgium can't.
Well, I'm looking at their recent call-ups who weren't included in this roster, and even these guys are old. You got Jason Denier,
Yep.
Patrick Boyata.
Ooh.
Really, you're looking at Salamakers from AC Milan. He's only 23, so he'll probably be there. He's decent.
Yeah.
You got Lukonga from Arsenal. He's only 23 right now. And then their backup strikers are Benteke, who's 31, Origi, who's 27, Yanazai, who's 27, and then two guys I've never heard of.
Yeah, they're gonna take a hit.
Wow.
They kind of had their time.
8 out of their top 10 most capped players are currently in the squad. Of all time.
Oof. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. But I mean, so like that's not everything, but I mean, you look at Germany. And I want to get your thoughts on the overarching question, which I think you might have brought up in the group chat. Why are our bench players at Chelsea outperforming our starters?
It's a great question. To address the Germany thing real quick.
Yes.
I want to say, and I don't know any Germans personally. I don't know what the thinking is in Germany of this team. Derek Ray seems to think that, the expectations are kind of tempered. But just looking at their roster, I would say they're more or less going through a soft rebuild. The goal is not to win this World Cup. It's
right.
But you talk about aging squads. Thomas Muller is 33. You got Gundogan is 32. Mario Götze is 30. But then you've also got a lot of young guys in this team.
Right. You do have a lot of youth.
You just look at the striker position. You got Karim Adeyemi, who's supposed to be the next big thing. He's 20. And they got Yusufa Mukuku, who I think is 18.
I believe so, yes.
But they look like they should be set 2 World Cups from now.
Right. Which kind of makes you question, is this World Cup kind of like a throwaway?
I would say so.
For a lot of your powerhouse teams. It's advantageous to some of the other teams, like the US or like a Spain. It's very advantageous for them because the big teams are like, well, we're kind of at the end of our quote unquote golden generation.
Right.
And we're just going to see what happens. And even Brazil to a certain point is in the same boat. Oh
yeah. I would say they're in a soft rebuild too, but they have the luxury of actually having talent.
Right. And I just think it, with everything that's gone on with, obviously FIFA and Qatar, which, by the way, have you watched that Netflix documentary?
Not yet. It's on my list.
Oh, so good. So good. You understand everything that happened and what the shit was going on this whole time.
Right.
It's actually very interesting, and it's something you would definitely enjoy. I'm not all the way through it yet, but I think I'm 3, maybe 4 episodes in, but it is quite good. But it's nobody, the big teams don't want to be there. It's kind of how it feels. The big teams don't even want to be there.
Right.
Argentina, again, you can lump that into that same category, a soft rebuild, but it's they're in the same position that Canada is. in the fact that everything runs through one player.
Well,
Canada runs through Alphonso Davies. Did you see how many touches he had today?
oh yeah, no, I'm not
Yeah.
arguing about Canada.
Yeah.
I will say,
I'm just saying from that perspective, like
Yeah,
a lot of things run through one player. Whether direct or indirect, it runs through one player.
yeah. Well, and then their secondary is Angel Di Maria, who's 35. So
Right. Like, and then I mean, yeah, Canada have Tajon Buchanan, but you can only do so much. But everything runs through Alphonso Davies with Canada.
right.
Directly or indirectly, everything runs through Messi. Whether he's drawn defenders to him, even not having the ball, everybody's keeping an eye on him, which might free up other people. But when he's gone, they're fucked.
Yeah.
They're royally fucked because that team has been, I don't want to say hiding behind, but that's the best analogy I can come up with. They've been hiding behind Messi this whole time. And when he's gone, that is going to be brutal for Argentina.
See, another team I think that's in that same boat, but not like they're not the quality of Belgium or Argentina. And you mentioned it on the pod itself, is Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know, granted, their problem is they don't have a striker. I think Chicharito, regardless of MLS status, would have been a good call up.
Because if you don't have 100% Raul Jimenez, and
who do you have?
Yeah, who's their other striker? Exactly. Call up Chicharito. At least he's been playing. At least he's been scoring. Like,
and he's like, he's got leader. Like, he's been to World Cups. He knows.
Right. And he's basically, I'm pretty sure he's the captain of the LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And Tata's played against him, I think, in MLS. Like, why the hell? Why wouldn't you? If you're a World Cup, you're looking for the best talent that you have around. Why not bring up Chicharito?
I want to know why Mexico hasn't been able to find a goalie for, I don't know, better part of a decade. here's
Ochoa.
Here are their three keepers. Memo Ochoa, he's 37. Alfredo Talavera, he's 40. And Rodolfo Cota, who's 35.
World Cup experience.
Yeah, they're about to get their asses handed to them in 2026.
Yep. On home turf.
Yeah. But speaking of Mexico, I will say I do like Edson Alvarez. He's looked pretty good. We were linked with him on deadline day with Ajax. I don't think he necessarily fits in as a starter as a number 6, but I think he's a solid squad piece if he comes to Chelsea.
Could be. It depends on who we get, right? I mean, if talks are true, like I saw reports that we're looking at Joao Felix.
I wouldn't mind that.
You shut the fuck up.
It's better than anything we have right now.
I'm not paying 130 million pounds for him.
Well, okay. You know what? Speaking of 130 million pounds, the other reports is that we're going to pay a combined 260 for Bellingham and Declan Rice.
So my thing with that is you shore up the midfield because we know the midfield is going to get an overhaul. I'm okay with that. Strikers are, I would say, the most overpaid part of a team. And It's very hit or miss whether you strike gold or strike aluminum. Joao Felix, I don't think I've seen anything better out of him at Atletico Madrid than I have with Kai. And I will let you bring up the stats on that. I don't see an upgrade or a downgrade. I see us overpaying for somebody who is of equal caliber.
Let's see. 33 goals in 129 appearances. And I agree. Maybe you're not seeing necessarily an upgrade. I don't think you're seeing a downgrade by, if you're just straight swapping those two. But I think something that isn't necessarily measurable is the change of scenery. And I'll say that for in two facets here. Number one, Kai Havertz needs a change of scenery. I don't think he meshes well with what Potter wants to do. I'm sure you saw his quotes this week of, well, I can play any position. Why are people, saying, oh, well, he can only play a 9 or he can only play an 8. I can play, I could start at any front 3 position.
No, you can't.
Yeah, no, he can't. He needs to change the scenery. I think he would do well either in the Bundesliga or La Liga. Something where there's more space, something where it's a little bit more technical, but he's just not physically up to the challenge of the Premier League at this point in his career. In terms of Joao Felix, I think he needs to change the scenery as well. You talk about Jose Mourinho and Tuchel and Klopp, kind of running out their welcome with certain players, right? Diego Simeone is a tough manager to play for, especially for multiple years. And, being asked to, as an attacker, being asked to consistently track back and press in defense, which I think in an ideal world, we all want, but we know, it's not always doable, right? And not every attacker is going to do it. I think having Joao Felix go somewhere where he can just focus on forward and getting that change of scenery, I think would help him a lot.
I don't know that he's going to be asked to just go forward.
Oh, and I'm not saying that he would. I'm saying more the change of scenery, the not being barked at every single match, like we saw with Tuchel and our attackers, right?
Right.
Is that it rubs people the wrong way to the point of, well, then they just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know it. So for me, that comparison is tough, and it's because I've seen Kai track back. Like, I've seen him do that stuff. He's just not going to be your out and out going forward. Joao Felix, could he be? Yes, but not for 130 million pounds. I think that's from a business perspective, I think that is a very dumb move.
For that amount, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a lot just for swapping a 1-for-1.
Right. And that's my whole thing. Like, fine, we're linked with them, but no, we are not going to pay, or we should not pay that amount of money, because he went, where is he before?
Lisbon. He was with one of the Portuguese players. He was either Benfica or Sporting Portugal.
Yeah.
Or Porto.
So he was in Portugal, and then he had a huge price tag, and then he came to Atletico Madrid, and he's still not, for a big money move, if I remember correctly. And he's still, I still don't think that he's living up to the billing of his price tag. And now you're saying he has an even higher price tag, and we're trying to make a 1-for-1, essentially a 1-for-1 swap between him and Kai. No, I can't do it.
I think the player in this tournament that they need to go after, and Parker did steal my thunder because him and I were talking about this before you came on. And I said this. I'm just going to throw it out there for the record.
For the record,
Cody Gakpo.
I do like him. I do like him.
I know he's only playing in the Dutch league, but I mean, we've now seen it with our eyes, eye test. The guy looks like he's playing like he's 26, 27, like, has played at the top level. He's creative. He's a big guy. He can muscle people. He's also got the creativity. And he's what, 19 or 20?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be okay with dropping, Jude Bellingham is one guy where I'm like, okay, I would drop maybe 100 mil on him because he's 19, he's young, he's already playing at this level. Imagine where he can be at. Gakpo, I think, is on that same level.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with Jude. And you're gonna love this. And yes, you are gonna love rubbing this in my face. Declan Rice didn't do shit in the US versus England match.
No, not at all.
He didn't do dick. Which, as much as I love him, as much as I want him on the team, that's very concerning. However, I have to look at it both sides, which I try to do, except for Jorginho. I try to look at it both sides. He's playing under a different system. It's tough. Like with West Ham, he's on the ball nonstop. He barely touched the ball in the US match. So it almost seems like he was lost. And same with Mount, same with Raz, which both of them been having shit matches. Like you like, there's no other way to put it. They have both been shit.
Yeah, and I don't really want to talk about those two. It's too depressing. But sticking on Declan,
yes,
I've been saying it for a while, is that I don't think he's worth the price tag that West Ham puts on him. I know that you rate him highly. I know that Parker rates him highly. I'm not paying $100 million for him. You know who he reminds me of? Do you remember the guy who played for the Bucks, Jonathan Simmons? Where for a shitty Bucks team, he would ball out night in and night out because he's the guy. He gets all the touches, right?
Yeah.
But then he signs a big deal contract with the Bulls, I think. And he's a bust because now he's not the guy.
Yeah.
And so, you're not getting as many shots, you're not getting as many touches. And he was a volume guy. So he just couldn't cut it. Now I'm not saying Declan Rice is a bust. I'm not saying he's going to be that.
Right.
But I think you're spot on. You look at his comparison between West Ham and England. Yeah, I agree. He was kind of lost on the pitch because he's not the guy. Not everything's running through him. And if he comes to Chelsea, it's going to be the same thing. All of a sudden, you're on a team full of guys at your level, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be okay with dropping 50 mil on Declan Rice, but not 100.
Yeah, and so so what makes it tough is the fact that West Ham sets the price tag.
Right.
So whoever is going to pay for him is going to get him.
Right.
Do I think he would help Chelsea? Absolutely. Imagine him and Kova.
Yep.
Right. As your box to box. Because that's what Declan Rice does. He is full-blown box to box. Those two together would be ridiculous. But if everything's not running through him, then it makes it tough. But the other point is he just on that suspect of a team where everything has to run through him? And, yeah, you pay for what he can do and what he has done, but you're essentially like you're paying for what he has done, but it might not necessarily be what he has to do going forward.
Right.
And I think that's the big question. So 100 mil to me, it seems steep. I would be more comfortable around 70, but you're not going to get them for 70, especially with everything floating around with prices and everybody overpaying for everybody. Like you're not going to get them for that. So, do you let him go to, if another team is looking like a
Liverpool are the ones interested.
Right. Do you let him go there to essentially replace Fabinho? I don't want to play against him.
No.
So at what point do you pull the trigger where I would rather have him on my team than play against him? And that might be where that 100 mil comes into play.
I think ultimately what it comes down to, for at least for me, would be how that impacts financial fair play, how that impacts how much more we can spend in other positions.
Yeah.
Because 260 million dollars is a lot for two midfielders when we have a lot of issues on this team. But you know what makes me feel a little bit more confident in only getting one of those guys? And
what's that?
I didn't get a chance to talk about it on the pod because it wasn't relevant, but Cesare Cassette.
Who?
Our U23 midfielder we got from Inter, scored a perfect hat trick for the U23s.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Including that banger of a goal earlier in the week.
Yes, I did see that, and I was like, oh my.
He's a number 6/number 8, which we need. He's got, I think last time I checked, 8 goals in like 14 appearances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, if this season's going to shit anyways, call him up. I mean, they announced that we're going to be playing Villa in Abu Dhabi in December as like a warm-up game for the season starting. Let him travel with the first team.
I guarantee you we lose that game 3-1.
Probably, but throw him out there, throw Amari Hutchinson out there, Lewis Hall,
Chumbawamba?
Yeah, Chukwuemeka, like throw them all out there.
Dennis is with Switzerland, right?
Yeah. I mean, if this season, if it doesn't matter where we finish this season, which is what we've been told left and right from every reporter, like, doesn't matter where they finish, Potter's keeping his job. Play some of these guys. We spent $100 million on youth players this summer. Let them play. Let them ball out.
Throw them out there.
And we saw this week that
any worse.
Yeah. We saw this week Mason Mount turned down a contract extension. Kovacic is turning down a contract extension. N'Golo Kante is turning down a contract extension. You're going to have openings in the midfield.
Wait, so can I buy a Kovac jersey?
I feel like that's the nail in the coffin if you do. I almost bought the Kova away Croatia jersey when I was down in Kansas City.
Oh.
But I saw the Belgium pre-match kit and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Hey, you got to make decisions.
Right.
I forgot what their away looks like.
Croatia?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the navy blue with like kind of fading in light blue checker. It's nice. And then I found a Raheem Sterling. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen the long sleeve.
Oh no, they had the long sleeve.
Oh,
but it was the player version, so it was $170. I'm like, I don't want to drop that much on a jersey.
the long sleeve.
They had a Raheem Sterling England away in my size. And I was like, I don't know if I could buy this because it was during the England game.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I can't buy that right now.
Why? Of course, it won't let me open it. Oh, that long sleeve.
Yes.
Oh, damn! If I could get that in a Kova. Oh, absolutely.
Do international jerseys count for your curse? Have we tested that?
I mean, I have a Pulisic.
Yeah, and he's still there.
Ooh, I have to go international jerseys now. Ooh. Honestly, I still really want a Reece James jersey, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, don't
I'm afraid of doing that.
put that back. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Like I really want one. I do want a Kova. I mean, it's just weird, like, but then again, I usually buy player jerseys that are like kind of borderline.
Yeah.
It's like Drogba, I bought his in his last year.
Yeah.
Michi, he was
already a fringe.
but he was still on the team.
Right. But he was like the third striker at that point.
And then I mean, Rudy I got after the fact, after I knew that he had signed with Madrid. So
he's washed now. So
that one, that's a little harsh. That one I can chalk up and be like, I'm okay with that. And then
Loftus Cheek.
No, I don't have an RLC. That's
that's Parker.
Who do I have? I have Drogba, Michi. Oh, Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, and he was 17 when you bought that, right?
Well, that was after he bodied Liverpool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. He deserves to be there. Everything. Yes, he's on the squad. Give me a Billy Gilmore jersey. Out on loan.
Well,
never to be heard from again.
Cassetti is going to be my next one as soon as he gets a squad number.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out like who do I want? And then I'm like, well, do I want a Reese, but I don't want to fuck that up. Do I want Thiago Silva? But then again, the curse continues if he doesn't get another year-long extension.
Right.
Kova, and then maybe he leaves. I'm not getting a Jorginho. Don't even ask.
Maybe that's the play, is wait until they leave.
Yeah. But then all the good jerseys are gone. So like I was looking for the Champions League whites.
Yeah.
Where the numbering on the back matches the kit. It's that light blue.
Yes.
You only have it for Mason Mount. Like, you sons of bitches. I might just buy it just to get him out of here. That'll be the true test.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of jerseys that I want, but maybe I go a different route. Maybe I get the non-player jersey.
Just the no name.
Yeah, maybe I get the non-player kit.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for years.
Yeah, just keep it safe. The only problem is with the non-player kit, then you have a big gap in the middle. Like there should be a number and a player. At least with the whites.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big gap missing there. And it's like, oh.
Sharpie.
Yeah. I'll just put it on with electrical tape.
Yes.
Hi, Mace. No, I meant to spell James.
Nice.
I'm all potted out.